All right, let's deal with Malawi now. $1 million by Christmas for a $9 million plan for Malawi. Okay, great. Malawi right now is headed for an election, and by the look of things, it's going to be a landslide victory to a totally new movement, but not a totally new movement after all, because in Malawi we recycle our politicians and new constellations come up with new colors and new names and everything, and we've seen it before, but there's reason to believe that it could be different this time because we are having a very experienced person from the corporate world who has been vice president for a while, and coming from a corporate world and coming from having had a hand in one of the biggest industries, the Carlsberg, and which is the only brewery outside of Denmark to brew Carlsberg beer, and also within Airtel, which is telephone. I think that's O2 around the world, basically. That's Airtel in Africa. So that type of connection with the people on such a basis, because everybody buys beer and everybody buys airtime, so that's a very connected person. But he's also a person who has been very active in a very serious area that we're concerned with as Cool Mom Records, which is the planting of trees. All right. So there is reason to believe that it's going to be a change. There's reason to believe it. We hope the best. What I'm trying to say here, though, is that I am challenging the standard at which the UTM is going to deliver to the people, if it's going to be the UTM. And as far as I'm concerned, it is regardless whether it's the UTM or whether it is the other parts, the DPP or MCP, whoever. What we are saying as Cool Mom Records, where we coming from an area that works with the whole of Africa and the whole of the African diaspora, harnessing that and harnessing the support of all reggae fans around the world and all Rastafari around the world. That's a different entity. And if we have all the women around the world because of Cool Mom Records, that's also another huge entity. So if we harness the support of all those people and we're able to move in on Malawi and say we want to influence the outcome in terms of the delivery of your promises at election, I'll be focusing on one thing, and that is 100% employment of Malawians. Because that is the thing that we know with the structures and strategies that we've devised over this while, we can deliver to the people, can stand by it. My thing is, I'm not political. I'm not interested in doing politics in Malawi. I'm not. I'm interested in Malawians having a good life. And I want to hold the UTM to their word that that's what they want to deliver. I want to hold every Malawian leader to the word that that's what they want to deliver. So having said that, I've spent time in Malawi putting together a document called Music Will Develop Malawi, which is a basic document for the foundation of what Cool Mom Records is and what we do, how we work with comprehensive corporate social responsibility, to hold the corporate world accountable for what they need to be giving back to the community and designing it for them, not letting them do it themselves, for obvious reasons, for ethical reasons, and for moral reasons, for financial reasons, and, we know that they should not be allowed to devise their own CSR because it's like a company doing its own accounts, and its own audits, tax audits. You cannot have that. You need an external organ to do that. So we as the people would like to be the external organ to say, well, this is how you pay back to all the big corporates, okay? So that's the basis of what we're dealing with. Having said that, we know that there's a lot of revenue in Malawi that can be used better. a lot of revenue from the tea estates, a lot of revenue from sugar, a lot of revenue from the platinum, a lot of revenue from so much that can be used for the benefit of Malawians, for more hospitals, more roads, whatever, whatever. It's up to the Malawians to define what it is that we want now and say, look, we can get that money. If we pull together as Malawians and work with CCSR, Comprehensive Corporate Social Responsibility, then that's what we can do. So the 1 million that we want to raise for Malawi before Christmas is to actually activate those institutions that I've been in touch with personally with my ideas while I was in Malawi, you know? And that's a small scale thing, and I will continue to talk about that in the next video. I'll just say that we are focusing on planting trees, and right at the center of that is one particular person in Cool Mom Records who we want to promote to other Malawians, but especially to the leadership in Malawi, you know. And I'm very concerned that this person should not be seen in the light of being in support of one political party against another political party. I'd very much like for this person to be for all Malawians. And if I was to have my opinion, you know, maybe 3 or 4 elections from now, when he's an old man and much wiser, that he will be president of Malawi, you know. So it's a young man by the name of Chisomo Njewa, who I am very impressed by and who's done some great work for us. And we just want the best for him, and we would like for him to be protected, guided, and, you know, taken care of, and, you know, may God be with him, because he's one of ours. We love him, and we won't want anything to happen to him, and we want the best to happen to him. You know what I'm saying? So I'll stop this video here, and we'll continue about the 1 million Chisomo and the $9 million plan. All right, bless.